Yeah, sorry about getting this out so late. I've had a lot going on this week, like a lot more than honestly I can even handle, but I had to find a way to make time for this. So, we're here now. So, just need to get one episode out before the draft actually happened, which I am going live for still. I'm going to keep reminding you of that until the day is actually here or until the stream actually starts, all right? So, anyway, what's good, y'all? Welcome back to the Titans Rundown. I am your host, Micah McCamey, and golly, we got a lot to get into today. This may be a little longer of an episode than usual because I'm going to do my mock draft for the Tennessee Titans, last mock draft, and then that'll be it for the rest of this for until next year. Honestly, until the next off season, this will be the last mock draft. But I also have this mock draft right here, all 32 picks predicted right there. Again, in the live stream, I'm doing 10 push-ups for every time I get a pick wrong. Cam Ward isn't picked number one overall. I'm doing 100. That should tell you how confident I am about that. And then the rest of the top three, and with 2 and 3, if I get those wrong, I'll do 20 push-ups. Anywho, yeah, that's really all I got. Let's get into the mock draft first off for the Tennessee Titans themselves. I do want to exclaim here. I do want to throw a real quick disclaimer here. Okay, there are other areas of this draft where, like, if something specific happens, then go after someone else, right? So just wanted to put that out there. Okay. With the first pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Tennessee Titans select Cam Ward, quarterback, Miami. I already mentioned that, obviously, but we take a look at this right here, okay? This is the obvious pick that the Tennessee Titans need to make, right? Like, you cannot make another pick here. It is very obvious that you need to go after a quarterback, okay? You hear what Bergonzi said in his press conference? Come on now. Like, let's be real, okay? If you heard what he said, you realize that we are definitely going quarterback. First off, he said no trade down. I was going to do 50 for if we did trade down, but he already denied that. So what's the fun in having that challenge if it's never going to happen? If it's not going to very obviously happen. Not just that though. Whenever he was asked about Will Levis, that'll tell you all that you need to know. He said, "Oh yeah, Will Levis, he's a quarterback that's developing in our quarterback room." And I'm just like, okay, that is very obvious that either someone else is coming in, you're gonna get either a starter like Cam Ward or another veteran. Again, Cam Ward, most likely. Actually, it's almost definite at this point. Callahan also slipped up and said something about, I was in this position a few years ago drafting somebody first overall, and I think they said something about it being a quarterback. So, again, it's very obvious at this point. Yeah, no, Cam Ward's the obvious number one pick. But anywho, now that we got that out of the way, we also got to talk about some of the positives, okay? He is a very solid leader, okay? There's a reason that you can catch him on his live streams, ironically enough, hopping on with Xavier Restrepo and some of his past teammates and seeing Quandre Diggs actually enjoy him. He is just a guy that is very likable, quite frankly. Okay, I found that out whenever I was watching the live stream, and honestly, that's part of what you need to be as a quarterback in the NFL. Okay, there are some quarterbacks in the NFL that have had success that aren't really the best people, but it's very obvious that the people with the least egos that end up being quarterbacks, well, okay, maybe not the least egos, but you've got to either be a likable personality that people are drawn to, or you've got to be a hard butt dictator, right? You can't go either way. You can't just be a jerk and just be a jerk to everybody in the locker room and just not show any type of leadership qualities. But you also can't just be so friendly to the point where your receiver drops the ball and you're just like, hey man, that's okay. You want to go get some lunch after this? There's I feel like that you got to be very, very balanced in that. And I feel like that just seeing some of the things that I've heard about Cam Ward, he seems like that type of guy. So, very happy about his leadership qualities. And again, the fact that he's just a good, humble guy. Like, okay, obviously, there are some cases where, not humble quarterbacks have been great. But all that I'm saying is that it does help get your teammates to get behind you whenever you are humble and kind. Tim McGraw. Yeah, again, Cam Ward, solid leader. He also has a very good arm. Like, I feel like that is a little underrated. Like, people are just like, oh, it'll cut it at the NFL. I think that he's got a lot stronger of an arm than a lot of people say that he does. Like, I think that he can sling the rock, quite frankly. And, you can see that whenever he threw the ball to Restrepo. I know that it was a shortened field, but it was from like his 10 to the other 10. And, absolute bomb from him. And it was perfect, too. Like, it wasn't like it was just a complete overthrow or like a 2-yard underthrow. Like, it was a perfect just dime of a ball. Let me think. What else is there? He's mobile, too. Like, he's not, like, mobile like he'll, go full Lamar Jackson and make you look silly, or Josh Allen where he trucks you to the ground until you give him his lunch money. Like, he's not either of those, but he's like, he can run if needed to. Like, he is, let me try and think. What's a good example of this? Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott, he's a pocket passer, right? And he sometimes improvises, but he does not run unless he really needs to run. But whenever he does run, he runs pretty decently. So that is exactly what I expect Cam Ward to be at the next level. Now, whether he's good at it or not, who knows? But that is what I am expecting. Yeah. Okay. Why is he a fit for the Tennessee Titans? I'm not going over any negatives. I'm trying to be as positive and happy today as I can be, because the Titans draft is tomorrow, and this draft has the chance to be just huge for the Tennessee Titans' future. Probably the biggest thing that Cam Ward brings to the table is new life. Like, this team was dying for a spark in the last few weeks of the season, right? The defense was solid, but then there was just no spark left at the end of the year, so they started falling off of a complete cliff. Same thing with the offense, except they weren't ever really that solid. They were good at moments last year, but overall they weren't like amazing, right? What I do say about this, though, is that, obviously Will Levis, Mason Rudolph, neither of those dudes were going to get it done. But Cam Ward has the chance to get things done. If he can get things done, then that will bring a new spark to this team, and that will bring a new spark to the fan base. Okay? The fan base has been dying for just a quarterback, like a little bit better than Tannehill. That's all we want. Just a little bit better than Tannehill. Just somebody that can win you a football game. Like Tannehill, I don't even know how to describe Tannehill, because like I want to say he could win you a game, but I don't feel like he could do that. But he could very easily lose you a game. We know that. But like, that's not exactly what a game manager is. A game manager is somebody that will not win you a game, but also won't lose you a game. Like, okay, you get the point though. Just as long as he's just a little bit better than Ryan Tannehill, will be cooking, right? Obviously, I want him to be more like this guy right here, Air McNair. But Air McNair with an H. But again, like, if he's just like decent, then we will have new life in the fan base and throughout just the entirety of the locker room, to say the least. Maybe even makes Callahan look a little better in year 2. Just saying. I think it's completely unfair to put year 1 on Callie. But anyway, I think that we're getting to the second round picks. So, it looks like that the Titans have traded their second round pick. They traded it to the 49ers. And the Titans got pick 42, and they got the Niners third, which is pick 75. And then the Niners got pick 35, pick 120, and next year's fourth. Okay, I want to clarify something. I do think that the trade package will be a little bit better than that in real life, but it's the only thing that the simulator would let me do. Okay, just letting you know that. All right, cool. Okay, so So with that pick, at pick 42, the Tennessee Titans select Jaden Higgins, wide receiver, Iowa State. Okay, so this is whenever things get a little weird, because I know there are some people that aren't really the biggest fan of Jaden Higgins, but he's a big guy. He's 6'4", right? Just absolutely just giant dude, right? He is very good at contested catches. He has some of the strongest hands in the entire draft. I mean, like, he definitely elevated the play of Rocco Becht last year, that's for sure. Now, do I think that Rocco would have been good with or without Jaden Higgins? 100%. But I am just saying, I'm just putting that out there. All right. Again, decent enough route runner. Mostly is going to be used as a deep threat. And from what I remember, again, staying positive, but I think people's biggest problem was that, he just, he wasn't, let me think. What is the word I am looking for right here? He wasn't healthy. Like, he sometimes would have a tendency to get injured, kind of like Trey Harris. But and his competition is obviously no doubt questionable. But here's my thing, right? Whenever you have somebody that's that big and has good hands and actually is decently fast, like, you have to, and I mean have to, go after that dude. Okay? It is a very obvious thing. Okay? No further questions asked. You've got to go after that guy. But I do want to say this. Oh, also, what he brings as a Titan, again, just a target for Cam Ward to throw to. Okay, but here's the thing. This pick could, like, set the entire tone of this draft, all right? Here's my question, okay? Or my thing, right? If Luther Burden or Emeka Ibuka are there, you run up to the podium, don't even think about trading the pick. You run up to the podium and draft one of those two, okay? You need to do that, okay? And here's the thing. In this mock draft, Kyle Williams wasn't available, but I am not going to be shocked if he ends up actually being available in real life. So, again, that would be my pick at pick 35 if we were to stay there. I digress. Dude, okay, if either of those two are there, you go up and get them, no further questions asked. Okay, same thing with James Pierce. I don't see him falling in the round 2. You'll see that in the mock draft. But if he does, by some miracle, fall to round 2 and the first two teams on the clock don't pick him, you immediately ring the phone and go get James Pierce. I don't care that he has personality problems. I don't care if he's a little bit lazy. I don't care if he sounds like he's an absolute psychopath. You need to go get an edge. Like, you really need an edge very badly, okay? I'll be honest, I traded down, and I actually thought about picking Princely. I'm not even going to try and pronounce his last name, from Ole Miss, because he would have been a really solid option right there. But I had to hold back because I'm just like, okay, come on now. If we're picking between two projects, one of them is a receiver for Cam, the other is just another piece for defense that we can honestly settle with next year, I'm going with the receiver every single time. James Pierce, if he's available, you go get him. If either of the receivers are available, you go get them, okay? And no further questions asked. Just wanted to clarify that. Again, I think Kyle Williams will be available there in real life. Could you get away with trading down to go get him? I think you could, but if they don't feel like they can just go draft him right there, okay? That's just my 2 cents, but anywho. Yeah, no, Jaden Higgins is one of the better picks that we can make here. Golly, I need to start flying through these because, like, we're already like 14, 13 minutes in, depending on what the edits say. All right, here we go. Pick 75 in round 3. The Tennessee Titans select Jordan Birch. I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but he's the edge out of Oregon. Okay, this guy is a very consistent tackler. He, whenever he's in the backfield, you will rarely see somebody break a tackle against him. Like, that is very much something that we need, okay? Because, like, here's the thing. Okay, Arden Key, good rotational piece. I actually think that he seems like a spark plug for the defense sometimes, but my gosh, can that dude sometimes just not tackle. Like, he's very undisciplined in the pass rush, to say the least. That's why he works more as a spark plug guy, which, we love him for that, okay? But we need a consistent tackler, okay? And Jordan Birch, however you pronounce it, brings that, okay? He also has a very good frame, solid NFL frame. I can't remember his exact stats, But that's what I've been told, is that he has the perfect frame. Let me look that up real quick because I don't want to sound like a complete idiot. Yeah, he's 6'4", 279. I think that's a pretty solid right build for a defensive lineman in the NFL, okay? Obviously. Okay, so he's very good at those things, and he has a strong bull rush. That is something that is needed for us, all right? That is probably one of the bigger needs for us, quite frankly. Just somebody that can just go in there and just plow through. But anywho, again, Jordan Burch, best receiver. Okay, again, I'm going to be zooming through these just because, again, we still have 5 more picks to go through, and we still got to get to this thing, okay? So, anywho, all right, we're going to go through round 4. Mike Frazier, offensive guard for LSU. Okay, he's got good range. Okay, he's got very good arms, and he's very raw, so he has upside, which is something that I know Bill Callahan can work with. Again, obviously, he proved last year he's not a complete wizard because, he didn't fix MPF, but golly, nobody could. But that's the thing, right? Okay, if this dude is a 4th-round pick and he just straight up isn't that good, Bill Callahan is not going to make him into a second team All-Pro, 2 sacks allowed type of guy, right? That's very obvious in of itself. But okay, he's got some good length. He has good eyes, but obviously, I think that most people will agree with this. The reason that I want him here is because he would be the heir to Kevin Zeitler. Okay, here's the thing: he's on a 1-year deal, and he's old. So either it ends up being that this dude Frazier ends up being ready after year 1, and then Zeitler can ride off into the sunset, or he needs more time to develop. So we go try and re-sign Zeitler to like a 1, maybe 2-year deal with the potential to cut if he doesn't go if Frazier ends up being ready after year 2. You got to think about those things, right? He would be a very solid mentor for somebody that's just trying to get into the league. This is probably, obviously, obviously, apart from the 2 picks, this is the most important. I think this is more important than if we traded down and got a 3rd-round pick and went to go get an edge. I think that this is more important than that because this could dictate what the future of the Titans O-line looks like. I don't want it to just be a revolving door of 5 different dudes going through that right guard position because one of them is destined to be bad, and then that brings down the entire O-line, and it's just not a good time, right? So I feel like that you just got to go with Burch here. Or sorry, not Burch, Frazier here, okay? He's also from LSU. He's got SEC experience on one of the better offensive lines, in the SEC. Okay, round 5, okay? Oh, man, I love this pick. I am so happy that I made this pick, and I am so happy to be able to tell you all about it. Round 5, first pick of round 5, at least for the Titans, I have us selecting Quincy Riley, cornerback out of Louisville. Whew, man, I like this guy. He's got good, nimble feet. He's got soft hands. But here's the thing. I don't even care about what his scouting profile says. First off, he's from Louisville, which is starting to become a cornerback machine right now. But the most important thing is that he's got chemistry with JBJ, dude. Here's the thing, right? We don't know what's going to happen with L'Jarius Sneed, okay? He's got knee problems, and, y'all probably heard about some of the controversy that happened this offseason. If you didn't, I'm not going to say it on this channel because, again, I don't really want to get into that. Rough subject, but I will reply to you in the comments telling you what did happen if you are actually curious. So, just wanted to put that out there. Quincy Riley is still, though, a very good cornerback, okay? He's very solid, and, again, just that chemistry with JBJ is what's really important to me here, because there were some better DBs on the board, but you cannot go wrong with a dude that has chemistry with one of our teammates already, and could end up being asked to start day 1 if L'Jarius Sneed is suspended or, heaven forbid, cut. Okay, the other round 5 pick. I like this one, too. I really like this one. I decided to go with Ollie Gordon, running back for Oklahoma State. Okay, here's the thing, right? He had a massive drop-off in production after last year, right? But here's the thing. First off, most defenses are probably more focused on stopping him than they are stopping the Oklahoma State passing attack. Oh, I'm so scared, right? Like nobody's worried about that, right? Like everybody is more so worried about the rushing attack whenever they play Oklahoma State. So that's probably a reason for why he had a drop off potentially. Okay, here's the thing, right? He is a very powerful runner, okay? Very big, good frame, and he will truck over you all day. And he's also he's decently fast for his size. Again, he's also got very solid burst whenever he gets through the line. Like, he can just get going, like, just after like, a little crevice in the O-line opens up, right? Okay, here's the thing, though. What we really need right now, the Titans at least, is a powerful runner, and that's what this guy provides. He brings power to the running game. He's the guy that you put in at the 1 yard line whenever your other two running backs are starting to, wear out a little bit, or they're too small for it, like Tajay or Tony Pollard. Even this is the guy that you put in at the 1 yard line to just chug in for a touchdown, right? Like, this is how you get a touchdown on the 1 yard line. Okay, that's really the biggest reason for this pick. Okay, and obviously everybody's talking about how the Titans need another running back. So this is my solution. Round 6, the first pick around 6, I picked Jack Kiser, linebacker, Notre Dame. A consistent tackler. Probably the most important thing of this, though, is that he has special teams experience. That's something that the Titans could always use and will always need, quite frankly. Okay, but here's the thing. Okay, Bones came in. Okay, he's trying to build the Titans special teams, and what I'm hoping for is that this could be a big part of how the special teams gets back to a decent enough place. It hasn't been in a good place since goodness knows how long. Like, what, the Malarkey days? Maybe? Like, it was never in a good place under Vrabel. I hate to tell y'all, I hate to burst some of y'all's bubbles, but, like, especially, like, especially in 2020 on for, like, the last 4-ish years while he was here. I can't remember the first 2 years, but those last 4 years, that special teams was very not good. Okay, because Craig Aukerman just isn't that good of a special teams coordinator. Sorry, Dolphins fans, but anywho, again, very solid fit for the special teams, and again, we need linebacker depth. Okay, the linebacker position is so thin right now. And honestly, unless you're trusting Cedric Gray to make a big breakout this year, I don't know why you wouldn't draft linebacker, at least one in this draft. I wouldn't be shocked if this ends up being the big shock of day 3 or day 2 even, that we go after a linebacker nice and early. So that way we can at least get somebody to throw out there with Cody Barton, right? Just some thoughts. Okay, last pick of the draft, I have us selecting Cam Jackson, inside D lineman, Florida. I'm not even going to tell you all the positives of this guy. I'm just going to tell you D-line depth. That's really it. And he's huge, like really, really big. 6'4", 6'6", 328 pounds. That's really all you need to know for why I'm picking him. And that is my last Titans mock draft. Let me think. 2 summarize. Okay, pick 1, Cam Ward, obvious pick. Pick 2, Jaden Higgins, get him a receiver. Pick 3, Jordan Burch. Again, just need an edge. Round 4, and pick 4, Miles Frazier, get Zietler's heir apparent. Quincy Riley, go get somebody that has experience with JBJ, especially if Jerry Steen ends up getting suspended for the incident. Ollie Gordon, got to go get, with the other 5th round pick, got to go get somebody that is at least decently powerful. Round 6, got to go with Jack Kiser, just so that way we can have some linebacker depth. And round 6, the last pick of the draft, Cam Jackson, get some D-line depth. Okay. Whew. All right, here we go. So, Titans mock draft right here, okay? If I get 10 of these wrong, I'm going to have to do 100 push-ups tomorrow. Think about that. That's insane, okay? Hey, I think that deserves a subscriber in of itself, okay? I'm just saying. Okay, if you're watching this far into the video and you haven't subscribed, what are you doing? Go do that right now. Or if you've heard this far into the podcast and you haven't like given a download, please do that. Please. Okay, I'm trying to do something here, but all right, here we go. Here's my mock draft, okay? First overall pick, Cam Ward to the Titans. That one's obvious. Okay, the first 4 I think are very obvious, and I don't have any worry in the world about them. Okay, so Cam Ward to the Titans, Travis Hunter to the Browns, Abdul Carter to the Giants, Will Campbell to the New England Patriots. Those are very obvious, right? Those 4 have been cemented, quite frankly. All right, but then we get to pick 5. This is where things get funky. I have the Jags selecting Ashton Jeanty. Okay, I'll be honest, I had him going to the Raiders at pick 6, but here's the problem, right? For some reason, the Jags just rose up in the betting odds to land Ashton Jeanty. So if I had to take yes for trying to get revenge for what we did to them with Derrick Henry all those years, but Ashton Jeanty, I think, goes 5 to the Jags. Okay, Mason Graham goes 6 to the Raiders. First big, really big shocker, for me at least, is that I have Tyler Warren going to the Jets. I've heard that they really want a tight end, and I would not be shocked if they ended up going with Tyler Warren out of Penn State. Okay, they need one. Pick number 8, I have Armand Mimbo for the Panthers. Shedeur Sanders goes to the Saints. Don't be shocked if they go another direction with even just quarterback. Like, there's who knows? Maybe Milroe was invited to the green room just so that way, just because they know he's getting drafted. It's one of these QB needy teams. I'm just saying, it's just a chance. And same thing with Jackson Dart. There's always a chance that he could go in round 1. All right, pick 10. I have Jalen Walker going to the Bears. Then I have Kelvin Banks going to the Niners. I have Matthew Golden going to the Cowboys, the most obvious pick of all time, because Jerry loves his dudes from Texas, and Matthew Golden is from Texas. Cowboys need a wide receiver. He's a wide receiver. Don't overthink that one. Pick 13, I have the Dolphins picking Will Johnson. I know some people who are going to be happy about that. I have Colston Loveland going to the Colts with Tyler Warren off the board. And the Colts' desperate need for a tight end. I mean, who do they have? Mo Alie-Cox. With their desperate need for a tight end, they go with the one out of Michigan. Mike Green goes to the Falcons. Mykel Williams goes to the Cardinals. Shamar Stewart goes to the Bengals. Tet McMillan goes to the Seahawks, and they finally get another receiver to put beside Jackson Smith and Jigba. My gosh. All right. Jahade. Again, I should have probably looked up how to pronounce these names, but Jahdae Barron goes to the Bucks. Amarion Hampton goes to the Broncos. Big need for a running back. At 21, I have Jackson Dart going to the Steelers. I think that they're starting to get tired of this whole hooky with Aaron Rodgers. So I think that Mike Tomlin puts his foot down and goes and gets a quarterback and basically gives a big old finger to Aaron Rodgers. Anywho, man, I got my cousins watching this. I can't say that. But anywho, Derek Harmon goes to the Chargers. Mecca Ibuka goes to the Packers. I really wanted to make a way for him to fall to round 2. But with the Packers' big need for a receiver, I just don't see it. I could see them passing up on a receiver and going with the defensive lineman like they always do. But just saying. Starks goes to the Vikings. I think it's Malachi Starks. Yeah, it is. Josh Simmons goes to the Texans. All right, obvious need for an offensive tackle. Jahad Campbell goes for the Rams. But again, do not be shocked, especially if the Steelers go in a different direction, if a quarterback gets picked there, whether it's Jackson Dart or, call me crazy, I think Jalen Milroe could end up being an LA Ram. Sean McVay sees that potential, and he's just like, hey, I can develop that. I can work with that. Okay, we got a quarterback who's going to be playing here for at least 2 or 3 more years. Let me develop Jalen Milroe in the background and get him ready to be able to at least throw at the NFL level. Okay, Walter Nolan goes to the Ravens. Kenneth Grant goes to the Lions. Donovan, I'm not even going to try and pronounce that last name, goes to the Commanders. Emanwori goes to the Bills. Gray Zabel goes to the Chiefs. Very obvious need for at least a offensive lineman in there. And then James Pierce Jr., as much as I hate to admit this, goes to the Eagles. Hate to see it as a Vols fan because I don't like the Eagles. And I also don't like to see it as Titans fan because, again, don't like the Eagles. But also, we need an edge, and he would be a very good edge to get in round 2. Again, this guy was projected first overall at one point. But again, that draft productivity fell off because of the fact that people just think that he's a psycho. So there's that. Okay, that's all 32 picks. I'll summarize these tomorrow on draft day. But again, 10 push-ups for every pick I get wrong. 100 if Cam Ward doesn't go to the Titans. 20 for the other two top 3 picks. If Travis Hunter doesn't become a Brown or Abdul Carter doesn't become a Titan, that's 20. Or sorry, Giant, that's 20. That's really all I got. That's today's episode. Golly, my throat is killing me, y'all. Y'all have no idea. I have Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok all under the Titans Rundown. And even though I'm not doing podcasting on it anymore, I still have Instagram and Twitter for the Vols Rundown if y'all want to go check those out. But anyway, that's going to do it all for me. This has been a rundown of your Tennessee Titans and how they're going to do in the draft this year. I love y'all, and tighten up.